Want to drink from this side? I don't understand.
Okay, sharing with you.
Come fetch them quickly.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, 1 more minute.
No problem. Is everybody there? No, nothing. Where's everything? No, kid, I'm not supposed to. Nothing. No.
Which one is took out?
That's my one bottle of coffee.
Okay, to know.
Okay.
Must we start video?
Yes, we can start video.
All right.
Are we practicing? Are we opening
I don't
the?
know.
We're opening. Here we
must give us
go.
the training.
I'm
Okay,
sure you
we
can
have
do
now.
lots of other
This
things,
webinar
darling.
is now live.
Why are you
Good
falling
afternoon,
on me?
ladies. Sorry? I see what is happening.
What is happening?
Okay. I just had all the tabs open, so everything went over each other. So now we're live. Welcome everybody to
Abby?
Celebrating Women
on.
in the Arts.
Yes.
Yes. I am very, very happy to be surrounded by every single person who is in this webinar today, which was handpicked and asked specifically and sometimes bribed to be on this webinar with me today. And then this morning we had a little session and we're all very excited to chat about what we do and just being women in this very, very strange time and circumstances that we're in. So I'm going to start without further ado, just ask everyone to introduce themselves, as well as Ilanza. This time you're going to introduce yourself as well. Those of you who've been watching our webinars for the past 2 weeks, Ilanza always wants to be in the background, but today is not going to happen. She's going to introduce herself and what she's doing. But I think, so I'm going to just call your name out and then you just say a few sentences. Pakiso, let's start with you.
Hi, I'm a makeup artist, for those that know me, and yeah, it's real.
And what makeup do you do? Are you on film sets, on theater, in shows, or weddings?
Weddings, talk shows, news. So everywhere where I get called out, I'm there. I haven't done very much with theater, but I've done a lot of TV and TV talks and TV shows, news, magazines as well.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah, I want to know a little bit more about that later today.
Yeah.
About the different types of makeup styles that you use for different types of areas. But let's move to our next person, Sneh. Sneh, like a snare drum.
Yes, like a snare drum. Hi, I'm Sneh. I am a dancer and choreographer. I do mostly commercial work, even though I do study theater. But yeah, I do theater sometimes just for the inspiration into the film side of things. But yeah, that's my first love.
Your first love is dancing.
Yes, definitely.
That's cool. I've watched some of your videos, like all styles, from Latin to hip hop to anything. I want to see some more, for sure. Yes. Cindy would be our next person.
Did you call me? I didn't hear.
Yeah.
you.
I did.
I'm a little bit older and I'm getting deaf now. I'm not.
Ooh, okay, I'll speak there. How's that?
Speak sign language.
Okay.
My name is Cindy Alter, and I'm a singer, songwriter, musician, motivational speaker, author, lover of all the arts, music, theater, everything, and lover of life.
And have you been in theater things?
I've never done theater. I've almost done theater. I started off as a drama student, believe it or not, when I was young. So I did a lot of performances small performances in theater and stuff. But I don't think I'm good at that. I just went on. I think I was much better at music.
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't know if you're better at music, but I do know that you're freaking good at music. So just keep it at that.
Thank you.
Thank you for being Abby.
Hello, I'm Abby Miles. I'm all about talking, all about food. I am a musician. I play the trumpet. I can play the piano and drums well. I'm a singer. I'm a dancer and I'm a writer.
Woo!
Like it. Andra.
So I'm a musician and a songwriter, and yeah, that's pretty much that. I wear hats a lot,
You do.
always.
And you're also very philosophical, I must say.
Am I?
I don't know. Maybe you
Was
can
that
give
me being
the-
philosophical?
Exactly. That is the correct answer.
Can I call
That
a
was.
friend?
Yes, right.
You can. Or we can go 50-50. I don't know. Ilanza.
I will so definitely get Lizani back for this one. So watch out for future webinars
No.
because this won't be the last one. So yes, I'm part of House of Crew and part of YTSA. I'm also part of the Protocol Council. And then I have a big love for music, for events, for tourism, and I play the piano as well. I used to play in 2 orchestras, so more classical. So yes, but I'm not going to elaborate on that because I don't do it professionally, but it's a passion, and that's how I live out my emotions and how to process it. Lizani, that you didn't know. I prefer to.
I didn't know that. That is great. So yeah, for putting you up on the spot, out on the spot, putting you on the spot. Yes. So that is fantastic. But that is what we do, though. It doesn't matter if we do it professionally or not. I think arts are in you, whether you create whatever, you know, whether it be a song or making somebody look better, not whether with your makeup, Akiso.
Enhance, you mean?
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So we've all been sitting here in lockdown, and suddenly we are not allowed to go anywhere. We have to deal with ourselves in our homes and stuff. So what I want to know from all of you, firstly, is how in the arts where you actually go out, well, so whether you're an introvert or not, okay, so I know a lot of people that are artists, that are introverts, that actually don't want to be around people all the time. However, you need people around you to express what it is that you are doing, that you're busy with, if we're in the arts, right? You are more than welcome to disagree with me at any point and raise your buzzer and say, no, Lizani, you're talking nonsense because I feel differently. But now during lockdown, what? Yes, we each have a talking stick for when we want to interrupt. During lockdown, so what is it that you did, or where did your creativity go? If it went anywhere, did it stop? What happened in the world of you as an artist? Cindy.
Okay. Well, because I'm the
Let's
first
go.
block. I'm in the first block when I look ahead. So it's like me, and then it's Schizo, and then it's Landra. So I'm sorry, I'm saying the words wrong. I'm speaking too fast. So for me, I've always been a performing musician. So I've been out in venues and events and all kinds of things, either with a band or solo, or sometimes with a duo, but generally, like you saw me, Lizani, at Strab, solo, just doing my thing. So everything stopped. My whole career just went poof into the air. No work whatsoever. At first, of course, I was just stuck. I was just frozen in the spot. I just was like, and now what? And everybody's like, oh, don't you? I'm creating, and we're going to start these online things. And everybody's like, brrr, doing all this stuff. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm ready for yet. You know, I need to just sit in this for a while and see what comes up. And I'm not following any trend. I'm not following anybody's ideas. I've always lived alone. I love living alone. I love my aloneness. You were right when you said a lot of artists are introvert. Believe it or not, everybody thinks I'm this extrovert. I'm so la la la, and I'm actually a total recluse. Seriously, I live alone. I'm quiet. I'm peaceful. I've got my little sacred space. But of course, my career takes me out in front of people, and they touch and they love and they hug and they no. And also another thing, we couldn't do that. There was no touching and loving and nothing. So a lot of things came to a halt for me, and I had to look at my career and my persona and everything and say, okay, do I want to emerge from this, whatever that looks like, whenever that looks like? Do I want to emerge different, the same, just continuing what I've been doing, or different? And what came to me was different. I'm reinventing myself. I'm doing different things. I'm offering different things to do for work. I've written a bunch of songs. I'm working on a compilation album. I just suddenly just creativity never dies, you know, no matter where you are, no matter what kind of thing you're in. So even if you're sitting at home and you can't do someone's makeup, you'll do something, you know, you'll play around and you'll try colors because it's what you do. So I think I've emerged from this, and it's not a big emerging yet. It's just a tiny little peeping the eyes over the little ledge, you know. I think I'm so ready to launch. I've got fresh stuff and I'm like a new person, even though my basics are always the same, you know. So that's my story.
Yeah, that's great. It brings up a lot of further questions, but which I will bring in after we've heard from people, because I think a lot of people feel the same way. So
Yeah, sure.
I think if we go to Andra, you were starting to speak.
Was I?
Yeah, there's a little.
Yeah.
So on my side, there's like a little yellow thingy that comes up the moment you make a sound, even if you just move. So then I think you want to speak. So just
So
be
no
careful.
throat clearing, none of that.
So speak.
Yeah, when this whole thing, lockdown and everything started, it was obviously everyone was a little bit shocked, and everything for me as well, it just froze. I froze. Everything was just kind of, okay, so I went to like very basic things, you know, just, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make my bed. And I'm going to have a million coffees. And yeah, so it just went really basic. And I must also confess, like, I think a lot of people expect or assume that artists just create all the time and then just flows, and now we have so much time and we can create whatever we want.
You know,
wonderful. And I was just like, oh no, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. So everything for me stopped, even creatively. I didn't know what to do, and that went on for quite a while. So I just pretty much decided to just go within, and I saw this time as a time of becoming, and I can't quite put my finger on it yet what that thing is, but it's just like more solid. What was before is just more grounded, I think. So it's a great foundational jumping off place, I think, for new things to emerge from.
Yeah, they're saying a time of becoming. I mean, we say it so often, but the next thing, becoming. Don't know, like, what are we gonna? Yeah. I am becoming, and that
More
is, I
of
think,
you.
what we're, what we're waiting for, like moreness into something new, which is really, really interesting and fantastic and exciting. I think it is nervousness. Maybe it's the same as getting on stage for the first time. You have no idea what to expect. You have no idea if something is going to go wrong in the sound
Every
or whatever.
time.
Yeah, every single time. Or if yeah. Well, I've been on the stage, well, many times, but not nearly as many times as other people. And I hear that it stays the same. So it's not necessarily that you can think, okay, now I've got this down. And so now with lockdown, it feels almost the same thing, or with even after lockdown, or however long this thing is going to be, you don't know how the world is going to react. What you are going, we're stepping out on stage, really. So, Snay.
Well, I think with me more than anything, I stopped dancing because also school became like a stressor. Like, it just became really intense because it was like, from doing a lot of physical things, because I major in physical theater / movement studies, from doing a lot of physical things to just taking that to online completely, and also just having to learn how to shoot videos, like for me, more than anything, as beautiful was being able to take class from a lot of choreographers that I admire overseas, because they started doing the whole virtual classes, live classes on Instagram, which is something they would never really do if we were under normal circumstances and everything else. So you know, I took that opportunity to just learn from them, like a lot, to just get back into my whole creativity and everything else. And also, I've just learned to create from like a space of home, like with the bed, with whatever I have, which is teaching me now, you know, that, oh, okay, cool. If, you know, if I want to create a certain piece based on home and everything else, like how would I do that, you know, in my own home, in my own house and everything. Yeah. So I just learned also how to film, work more, like much more, because well, wow, that's what I have to do, even like for a lot of submissions. But that's one thing I'm truly grateful for, because if this did not happen, I think like even filmers, I would have just, you know, been like, you know, it's fine, I'll see the people in person or whatever. But what I hate about the lockdown is that I can't shoot music videos and perform on stage, and I can't see people, you know, face to face here, like, you know, like when I do my dance classes or just create something as a group. I think that's very, very hard. So I had to put that on pause and focus on individuals, which sometimes sucks because I really want to do like a lot of group work. But yeah, I'm just, yes. And Cindy, when you go back on stage, I'm dancing for one of your shows. Thanks.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes. That'd be great. I think when we all go back, we should all do something on each other's platforms.
Yes.
It would be beautiful.
Yeah, we should, for sure. I think that is a great idea. So you also started with dancing lessons on Instagram, right? You were
Yes.
muted, so I couldn't hear. So you do that though. You do your Instagram classes.
Yes,
think
I
you
do
got it.
Instagram classes, and I do like a program that I do like a program named like Feels, you know, just for emotions, because we're all going through the pits right now with this whole thing. So
Yes.
just for people to release after work and things like that. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I
great.
just jumped on it and see how I could teach like online as well. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That is like helping people to just relax. I think that is what we have as a skill. Pakiso, how is your lockdown, or is your lockdown?
The first 21 days, I was like, okay, now it's time for me to take time out. Because you know, as a
I can't. Sorry, Pakiso, we can't hear you. For some reason, you're too soft. You have to do what you did earlier when it worked really well.
how is it now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great.
So when lockdown started, the first 21 days, I was like, yay, now I'm taking a break. I didn't think it would last this long,
Yeah.
honestly, and everything just got stopped. No weddings to do. People are not going to events. So all I ever do is watch tutorials, do my own makeup, and shame my poor husband's face. I sometimes really abuse him. I would want to learn other trends, but I would want to practice on him because it's just the two of us in the house, so I've got nowhere else to go. And then
Yeah, we want to see those photos of you make-upping your husband's face.
he refused for me to take the picture.
Yeah.
So it's like, So what I also do is I've developed a new hobby. So all I ever do is cook. And if I don't bend the parts, it's like, yeah.
I can imagine.
Because, I mean, as creators, we are used to being in people's spaces and being around a lot of people. So when you're stuck in the house for that long, you feel like you're sometimes going mad because what is it that you can do in the house?
Yep.
You know, so yeah, so I don't know, sometimes go work in the garden just to keep busy because I'm not taking it well.
Yeah.
So it's rough.
Mm.
And also, like, obviously doing makeup is straight into somebody's face. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of other challenges, even when we go back,
Yeah.
even when we're allowed to again with masks and everything, because you're just here.
It's really
So
fun.
with protocol, yeah, exactly. So yes, we're going to face those challenges. I mean, we're speaking about protocols quite a lot in all the in theaters at the moment. We are having a big discussion about theaters, and everything is people in each other's space. That is what creates the energy. So that is definitely a thing that we have to now look forward to in future. But before we carry on with that, Abby, just tell us a little bit what is going on in your life at the moment.
My life is interesting, girl. Okay, so lockdown happened and life was intense. Like, excuse me, no graduation. What? And then literally graduation was like a week before they were like, stop everything.
Oh,
So I was disappointed. I was so disappointed because I literally just wanted this one thing that I can do for my parents, you know. Fine. I sat, did zero with my life. I got fat, and then I got tired. I got tired of being lazy, and I decided to start fitness with Abby Moles. That's fitness with a PH because we're persistently happy. So I do that every day, 9:30 live on Instagram. And then now I'm revamping it because I actually had a lot of intake of interest from people, and I was like, whoa, okay. People gave me comments, so I'm revamping that. We're coming back in spring. Then I don't know how it happened, but I came across a post from someone which led me to SAMHSA, which now I am officially the memberships officer for. So for people who don't know, SAMHSA is South African Musicians Support Association. So that really just sparked up what my real love is, because my first love ever before I did anything else was playing instruments. And because of high school not having music and then studying drama and lost interest. So because I've joined SAMHSA and living my golden life, I've rekindled my love with my son. His name is, that's my trumpet, by the way. And I'm just honestly just trying to rebuild my mission for the public, but I still continue. That's me.
Abby, we're losing you.
Oh, are you losing me?
Yeah. So just check your signal maybe, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, so while Abby is checking his signal, I think it is a very valid question to ask. So now most of you said that we are going to, it's launching us onto a new platform, okay, or reinventing ourselves or whatever. But what are we going to do if this virus or the state that we are in is not going to go over soon? Like at the moment we have gatherings of no more than 50 people. So for some places that's fine. Some places we can, you know, that can make it happen and stuff. But further than that, what lies in future for you as an artist if life as we know it right now is not going to change? Like, have you thought about that further, or is it very daunting? Or what is the hope? Sneh.
The hope is for it to end. More than anything. Honestly. But I think if it does drag out, which would suck, because now I think it puts the limit to the work we're trying to put out there, which is a problem, you know, because some things you can't do because you're like, oh my goodness, you know, we can't be this much. But I think for me personally, if it has to like really drag, hopefully it doesn't, I think I'd focus on projects that like are solo work projects, honestly. That is as much as I can do, because even if someone does shoot you, it's like kind of like 2 people, you know, and you're like 3 or anything like that. So it's not that much. So I'd focus on the solo work, but in all honesty, it should just end. It really should just end.
Yeah, we'll make Cindy.
You see, I feel the same way, Sneh, because we don't know what's going to happen. We actually don't know. And you cannot, it's like, you know, at least when we in normal times, whether we know or something, we can still plan for our future. We make our plans, we set our goals. We go, okay, I'm going to do this. And in about 6 months' time, I'm going overseas again and I'll do the bit. And now we can't do that. It's like we're blocked from planning our future. And that to me is very, very difficult because I have to make a living. I support myself. I have to eat and I have to pay my bills. My landlord didn't say, oh, don't worry, you don't have to pay for the next 6 months. You know, my insurance is still every month, medical insurance, this. So I have to find work. And if I cannot find work in my industry, I'm a bit stumped, to be honest, because what kind of job do I go and get? I'm 63 years old. I don't have big qualifications. I don't have a degree. I've been a musician for 45 years, a professional musician. I can type and I can probably walk the streets, but nobody wants an old hooker. You know what I'm saying? So, things have changed and things have gone south, so to speak. So I just don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to be that, oh, I don't know person. But also what Andra said is just being still and being in it and letting things come to us rather than chasing something to find out what to do. You know?
Yeah, I honestly agree with that because I know for me, one of the biggest things that got to me with Corona was the fact that my parents now have to pay my rent for me again. That really, really, really like chopped my balls, mind my language. I was distraught. I had established myself, as an independent adult, and I got into a point where I had proved myself to the people and the public, including my family, because there'll be like family events that happen and I can't be there because I'm on stage. And it's like, I don't take priority of my family. And it's like, but that's not true. I'm working towards that. So now that I had done that, Corona was like, girl, let me show you something. And then I was stunned and stuck. So I honestly, for myself, have learned to tell myself, it's okay not to know what you're doing because it will come to you. Yes, there's inspiration everywhere else, but we all have our own voice and we all have our own love language. So what's lovely for me with the Corona on a positive is that it's encouraged me to focus, to find myself again, to see really what my interests are so that I can, like Sneh saying, hope that it's gone. But when it's gone, what am I going to do? Because I can hope that it can be over, but then what? I'm still an artist. So I need to first figure it out all, and it's hard as well, because you still get people like, you see, you should have done law. Now look at you, you're crying. And it's like, you know what? Shush. At the end of the day, you wouldn't have nothing without me. That's the thing. And I think that's one of my biggest irritations with Corona, or at least our industry, is that we're in level 2, cool, but where are we as live performance? Where is live entertainment? TV is going on there. If we could have just 3 hours of a shutdown, including radio and television, where they stood with us, maybe people would understand. So it's frustrating because people can go and watch Generations and whatnot, and then they can say, when are we seeing you on TV? But you can't even buy an 80 Rand ticket to come and see me when I actually am on stage. So these are also conversations we need to have.
Yes.
Definitely, we do have to have this, and I asked the question specifically for these answers because it is as if somehow people think that no, but there's always something else to do. But if you have been a musician your entire life, and this is even if you can type, Cindy, or even if you can do something else, you are doing what you are passionate about. And as it goes, you are successful if you do what you are passionate about, regardless of the rewards or whatever. So that is what we want to do. And I need people to know that there is, even if there might be another way, the way for the arts to fully happen and exist and live is in the context of people, is in the context of the togetherness, and that cannot be halted forever, even if we become sick. So I am very careful about what I say here now, because we are celebrating women in the arts. So we're not going all political or change or regulations.
Sure.
I have those conversations a lot on other webinars, but here I know that it is very necessary that people understand that we need people, we need each other, we need the energies, we need to be together. And if there is anything in life that has highlighted it as much, it's COVID-19. It is the fact that we are not allowed. So I spoke to somebody just the other day, and in our village, and she said that they are playing more sports and stuff because COVID is not allowing them to be with each other. So now they're arranging get-togethers where they can be far away or throw a ball or something, just so that they can be in each other's vicinity. Whereas before they didn't really want to get out of bed and go to a game or whatever, because we realized how much we need people in our lives. So that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Pakiso, did you want to say something now? You started talking.
This lockdown is really like, okay, fine. We know that we are freelancers. We need to do that. But
Sorry,
now,
we can still not hear you. Love, we can still not hear you.
nothing.
No, it's very, very soft.
Very soft.
Yeah.
And how's it now?
No, it's still soft. So maybe you just need to sort out your microphone. Yeah, it was great earlier. It's soft.
Now?
That's better.
Okay, now.
It's better
Yeah,
if
just
you
maybe come
speak into the mic, Pakiso.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
A bit better, yes.
Okay. I'm saying, with the little bit one had saved up during the times of working, it gets scary because every time you take out and there's nothing coming in. Then you ask yourself, how long is this going to sustain me? Because now you're taking out, cars need services, food and everything. And you look at your situation, you have parents that are both not working and you are the sole breadwinner. So it's like, what then? And you have ideas of maybe selling something, and you ask yourself, if I take the little that I had saved up, what if it doesn't work out? And what if I'm going to lose money with something that I'm not even sure that it will work out? So it's like, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, because what if we are on lockdown until next year, December? What is one going to do?
Exactly. Okay, but let's move away a little bit from lockdown and our current situation, because as we spoke about it this earlier as well, as artists, we have a lot of things that come our way that you suffer through, or that work is not coming in. I mean, number one, you're freelancers, right? So it's that next gig, if it doesn't come in, you have to go out and work and get your gigs, or hope that somebody contacts you or spread word of mouth. Like, just speaking about life as an artist, and I'm going to direct this to you. I'm going to address you, Andra, to say, so why do you love it so much? And through all of it, where I don't know if you have, I just know very often I speak to people, especially, to whoever is in the arts, and every now and then they get to a point where they say, I cannot take this anymore, I'm going to become a banker, or whatever it is. So you specifically, that I know is still here, so let me know why.
Wow, that is such a great question with a very complicated answer. It's for me personally, like, I can never speak for, all artists. I mean, because I don't know, everyone's path is so different. But for me, it's almost like, I don't know how to say it without sounding really cheesy, but it's like, it feels like it's a calling. kind of a thing. So I am here kind of
Yes,
as
child.
a tool for the songs to exist. And you know, if I don't go and fetch them, someone else will, but only I can do it the way that I do it. And it's kind of this responsibility thing that's bestowed upon every artist to go and be that voice for that song or that poem or that movie or that book. So it's I think it's that thing that keeps you going, because you kind of don't really have a choice. You know, it's like I've had that moment of screw it, I can't do this anymore so many times. And I get back to the duty or the offering. And it's important. I think we as artists come to assist and to serve. And if we can't do that, we kind of die a little. So I think for me, that is what that is about. And all the money and all that stuff, you know, obviously we need all the regular things that everyone needs. And it gets tricky, especially now, but all the time, actually, you know, we have to really work really hard to just make ends meet. But it's somehow eventually always worth it, because that's why we are here.
Yeah. So there's a reason, obviously, why I asked people to be here, and for you just saying that we as artists, we are here to assist and serve, is a mentality that is mind-blowing for me. To hear somebody say that as an, so it's great if everybody has that mentality. And sometimes I think it gets a little misconstrued of what an artist is. The moment that you are on stage, or that you are seen, or that you are recognized, it's almost as if people put stuff on you of what you have to be for them. And whether that goes to your head or not, whether you stay solid or not, in the end, if what you say you believe, then I think that sums up what artistry is about, is an assistant to serve. Thanks. I have not heard it said in a better way before.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was just totally with you. It's funny, I just did a lecture this morning to the Academy of Sound Engineering, and I talked to young guys, young girls as well, and they're all starting out in this industry and everything, and they were asking so many questions, and I was saying exactly that as an artist, your art comes first always, because you were given this gift. It's like you said, the songs are out there and they come through us. I feel like a messenger, you know, like I'm going to get that thing and I'm going to put it in some kind of way that is understandable to the ear, and then, you know, let it go, spring forth and be whatever it is. And sometimes it touches people and sometimes it doesn't. But my greatest joy is not being paid 50,000 Rand at the end of the night, which is great, yeah. But my greatest joy is when one person in the audience comes and says, that song spoke my story. That song touched me. It moved me. And I'm like, I'm doing my job. My service is being done.
Yeah, that is true. And it's rewarding both ways, because if somebody is in the audience, somebody does sit, for instance, Pakiso do their makeup, or Snare does a dance or a trumpet or anything that is played, and that person is touched, it is kind of, it's a payment that is not tangible.
Exactly.
So when money comes into it, it really convolutes or makes things a little bit messy, I think, and it almost takes us away from that feeling. And I am glad that actually during this time, I think we're all getting back to that again. Yes, we do need money desperately, but we're all in the same boat, and we all actually know what it is that we need more than money. And that is what I'm hearing from our conversation.
But I think a lot of artists lose sight of it, because the bigger artists that have got so much money, they can spend 5 months in a studio working on one song or 2 songs with their producers and stuff. They have the luxury of, you know, it's a different mindset. I'm not saying that they are less creative and less real and less authentic. I cannot say that. But a Beyonce kind of artist, I mean, you know, she is so blessed with so many talents and so much money, and she doesn't have to struggle through these times that we've got, that we are talking about now. Her struggles are different, I'm sure. You know, I'm not saying that she doesn't have struggles, but she doesn't have this worry that we have, and saying, you know, I can't, I don't know how much longer I can afford this. I believe in the bigger picture that something is going to come to me. I believe that I will be taken care of by the universe in some way. But it is faith that keeps us going. Just the faith.
Oh, my favorite word, faith. It is. I loved how Andre was saying, we don't have a choice. That is so true. Because you'll find, and I mean, no disrespect to any artists that are listening or here with us, but you'll find that if someone asks you why, this question that Lizani just asked us, why are you doing this? Why are you still here? It's really a person who knows what their purpose is that will tell you, because I don't have a choice. Because I always say to people, I didn't choose it. It chose me. My dream is to be a pathologist, but I don't know. Here I am living my best life, struggling. And you know what? It is fun. It is fun because we are just amazing people. That's why for me, honestly, I'm also like, I'm still here because, wow, no one can do it like me. It's just impossible. No one has my gift. And that's why, honestly speaking, we need to hone our gifts and then share them. And that's it. If you are there for money, cool, you know, it's great, but it's a here thing. It really is. It's a out of body experience when you know who and what you are and what your purpose is.
So it's I think just here, us talking together right now is acknowledging it. It's not a silo. You can't be, even though you like living alone, or even though you like having your alone time sometimes and not be surrounded by people all the time, because that is what is required of you in any way as an artist. At a stage, you need to have that deeper connection. And I personally believe that is a characteristic from an artist, is the big need for a deeper connection. I don't know, maybe chartered accountants also have that. I will speak to my chartered accountant friends. But it's the need for connection and the need to create. And as women in the arts, we need to see that in each other and commend that a lot more. We need to be on each other's stages, as you said earlier, Cindy, and come together and say, let's get onto each other's platforms. And that is what I love about what we are doing here today. And we're getting to know each other, and we're definitely going to do that. We're definitely going to get onto each other's platforms. Sneh, what I want to ask you is, if a youngster comes to you now and says they want to enter the dance world or the arts world, what would you say to them?
Ooh. I think for me personally, I think especially with the younger generation that's coming up, I think what I don't see anymore is the training, right? Because everyone just wakes up and they think, I'm waking up, I'm a dancer. Hey, I've seen things. Hey, I've seen things. But not gonna dwell in that. But I think if you are like, I feel like invest in it when you're still young, in all honesty, and try your best. I won't lie, and this is also still my dream, to do it overseas. Because South Africa sometimes with our dance world, it's still a mess. It really, really is a messy thing. But if you really love it, and if you're very persistent, that's very, very important. To love it, to be persistent, and to also just go out and do workshops and go compete, because that's where you're going to meet your people, know where your connections, or where other people who do the same thing lie. I think that's very important. And I feel if maybe I had that also when I was younger, because most of the time you will just dance on the street and you know that I really want to do this, but you just don't know how. For me, Google, because now a lot of things are online. We have social media platforms that post all these all these workshops and everything else. It's okay sometimes, be able to invest in yourself. Take out that $100, $200 for like a workshop that you have to go to, because you meet people beyond. So think beyond than just me going to learn ballet or just going to learn a class. I'm going to meet other students who are going to connect me to a whole different world, who are going to introduce me to so many people. So if you really love it, if you're really persistent, and if you're able to invest in yourself and be able to it's okay to just take out a bit of money from the pocket, like hustle. In this industry, you just legit have to hustle more than anything. If you can do those things, then I say do it. But if you feel like, it's too much hard work, then don't, like, at all, because you're not going to get anywhere. You're really not going to get
hard
anywhere.
work, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, just a bit quickly, you said the dance world in South Africa is amazing. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the dance world and what is going on platforms and stuff, just for our audience watching?
Okay, our dance world is improving quite a bit more because there's more competitions that are being created, especially I think what's important is including African styles within that, right? So having that broader sense now, in like for Pantsula dancer to be able to take part in a competition that dominates with contemporary, that dominates with hip hop, that dominates, with a lot of Western styles, just makes things a bit easier. So there's more growth, but there's still a lot of things that still need to unfold. I think like with just also doing my research project, having an identity, I think finding the South African identity at this point more than anything, I think that's what we lack. So like, yeah, I think once we get into depth with ourselves and who we are as South Africans and what we possess, and what we bring to the table, yes, fine, include the Western styles because we are already there, but finding our identity and being able to just structure ourselves into our own work, into our own cultures, into all of those things, then I think it will be a better place, because we will have what the West doesn't have. Because I'm looking at also a lot of videos from overseas nowadays. They do Afro beats, a lot of piano type of moves and stuff, and those are things that come from us. Why aren't we going that side to teach that? Like, so it's one of those. It's really that. It's like just finding that, like sticking to our identity. There's no problem with that. The minute we just shift too much, because that's the problem. It's okay to borrow sometimes, but to completely say we're doing everything from the US or we're doing everything from Europe or wherever, then starts, creating an imbalance in who we are, and then we lose ourselves. Yeah.
I think it is exact same with music. Cindy.
That's it. It's exactly what I wanted to say, Liz. I'm sorry to jump in like this. It's the exact same thing with music, that we've not created our own sound.
Authentic.
We've always copied the American artists and the English artists and stuff, and all the years, and always saying, why don't we crack it overseas? Because you're not original. You don't sound like something fresh. Be who you are. We come from a country that is so diverse. I mean, I was lucky to grow up in the times of apartheid, and I say lucky because as a musician, we never saw color. We never saw a black musician or Indian musician. We were all just bloody musicians. We all worked together. Nobody thought of anybody as being different. So I learned from, even as a kid, I was sitting and dancing in my housekeeper's little kaya or whatever. I loved their music because it was familiar to me. So it came into my thing when I started my multiracial band. It was one of the first multiracial bands. We were combining like Bakanga and rock, and it was so fresh that when we went to Paris and France, they were going, what is this? Wow. And that's American guys, promoters were like going absolutely berserk, saying, who are these guys? Like, look at this cool, fresh beats and the fresh African sounds, and combined with pop and rock, it's like different. You have to forge your own sound, no matter who you are. And if you do sound like someone from overseas, you do. That's all there is to it. But I totally agree with you, Snay, because it is vital as any artist, whatever you're going to do, be original. Don't copy anybody. Be you. I mean, doing makeup, you do your own thing. When you get up there, I recently did this thing. It was a big presentation, and these girls were doing everybody's makeup, and they came to me and they didn't know what to do with me because they were all doing set makeup. They were all doing the same thing. Put on the lashes on the girls, do the big color, and I'm just like, sorry, but I'm an Mlungu, you know, I'm a little white girl. I'll put 65 lashes on me. I'm not going to look the same. And they were uniform, you know what I'm saying? So I think everybody, whatever you're doing, be you, because you are the unique thing.
Yes.
That's what I also wanted.
That is exactly Pakiso. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I also wanted to say, is that be you, because you go on Instagram, everybody's doing the same makeup. Everybody's doing the same makeup. And you know, when a specific artist has done another person's makeup, because now everybody looks the same. And yeah, so that's what I was saying. When you join the industry, be different and not follow suit what everybody else is doing, because now it's like, if you don't do that particular makeup, you are not seen to be a great makeup artist, because now only certain people will be recognized to be the best, and yet others that are being different, they seen as not being doing their best. So, and again, have ideas of what you can maybe sell or have on the side, because sometimes you go for 4 months without work. Maybe with makeup, maybe sell lashes, sell hair, so that when you don't have work, then at least you have a backup plan. So that's something that I learned now during the lockdown. So it's something that I also need to venture into.
Go for it.
That is very important. Because I also agree with you with that. We need to up our skills. I feel like sometimes as artists, we already know what we are doing, so we chill. You know, it's like a relationship. Once you guys know each other, you get comfortable. We need to literally own the skills. Because I know for me, I went with my beautiful pride of my life here. I went to go buy makeup brushes. I know makeup, but to a certain degree because of theater, right? So I look at it and I'm like, 96% of you, I don't know what you are called, but that's where you start. And it's the same thing with Sneh when she was saying, you know what? Use your resources. There is YouTube. YouTube is the Bible now for Corona. Go out there and explore. And yes, I understand some of us don't have data. We don't have the devices. You know, it's hard. So go and stand there on the grass. Go behind your house. Do something. Creativity, it needs you to just be alive, you know? So yeah, you can't be stuck in one place. I know I'm a musician, but I can't be a musician forever. Yes, I can, but do you know what I mean?
Yes, you can. But I also think that, yes, you're saying Google, but now if we're sitting here and we're talking about makeup now, because we have Pakiso here who's a makeup artist, and now we're in a time where you have to do your own makeup, okay? We're talking that makeup now. Then yes, you can go to Google for sure. Or now, you know Pakiso, and you can pick up the phone and say, oh, I'm struggling with this. Like, I don't know how to do this. Can you please help me? And we can help each other out. We don't have to be all by ourselves or in solos, in silos. And also, Pakiso, what I wanted to say about the makeup part of it is, I think people miss that it's an art. So just as an interior designer speaks to a client and they have to decorate that place according to what the client feels most comfortable with and like, regardless of what it is that you are doing. You have to have that art to be able to make somebody feel comfortable when they walk out on stage. And or when they're a character or whatever. And then, and just from what you said is, and from what Cindy said, is to be authentic. And then because it is an art, you can't go and just copy what anybody else has done. You look at the face that you're working with like a canvas, like a song, like a score sheet, and you paint it in just to look the best. So I loved what you said there. I just wondered about Andra, who had a little bit of a frown when Abby said that it's like being in a relationship. Like what?
Oh, was that? No.
When you get in a
was a bit
relationship
funny.
and chill, I don't have to work on this anymore.
Oh, the chill thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, well, the thing is that's again, so it's so subjective because, you know, I'm always very careful to speak for more people than myself because I don't know. Yeah, I'm anything but chill about anything. So I was just like, wow, that is so interesting. You know, I don't understand how an artist can like stagnate or whatever because it's noisy. You know? So there's a lot of ideas and songs and poems. Yeah, Malkopien, yes, Cindy. So yeah, I was just like, it's an interesting perspective because I find it foreign. So I was just like, wow, that's interesting.
But to talk about that, like when you say it's noisy, I don't know. We don't have to linger on this long, but I don't know if people, we hear a lot of things about artists, right? They're moody, they're dramatic, they are, I don't know, whatever the labels are. But
All of the above.
all of the above. And the fact that people don't know is it is noisy. Like
It's noisy. That is
where
very
do you
noisy.
think all these ideas, where do you think all these songs or these poems or these things that you watch, where do you think it comes from?
Yeah, well, it's out
know?
there. I think it's so, and that's why I think artists tend to spend a lot of time alone because we need to get very still to go and grab the things that make sense, so that there's, you know, congruence between your head and your heart so that you can speak it right. So yeah, to filter through the static and the noise to bring something sacred to the people.
Again,
And
I've
then
got to say, yeah, absolutely, if I may. You're just speaking my language, and I'm sure we're all connecting on all of this because I've got chaos in my head most of the time because there's so much going on, and most of the stuff I write about comes from India, you know, and occasionally you'll pick something or you'll be walking on the street and say, that looks interesting. Maybe that can be in my song, you know, but generally an artist comes from soul and comes from the dirt and the underground and the tearing it apart, you know, and bearing that heart and saying, look at me, it's not always that pretty, you know, it's sometimes very ugly and very raw, you know.
It's a look at you, you know, it's not just a look, this is us, look at us.
All of us.
But it's also, which brings me to criticism. Like you are, you know, with all these labels people put out there, I don't think they realize that you're actually putting a part of yourself outside there. It's things that are going on in here. And you are putting it out there because you want to serve and assist. And somehow people feel that they can say it's good or bad. And I get that. I mean, kudos to them. I just want people to realize that when you look at something that an artist is expressing in whichever way that that their skills allow them to, it comes from here. It comes from somewhere, and there's a lot of people that connect. Yeah.
But the thing is that everybody is allowed an opinion. So I cannot control if I'm going out there and I'm playing and the people just don't get it and they don't like my show. I have to still carry on. I have to give it my all. I cannot say, oh, they don't like me. And then just, you know, and end up having a shitty show and being all miserable because they don't like me. when I put myself out there, it's warts and all. You either like it or you don't. Whatever happens, I'm going to give you everything. It doesn't matter. But I think when you talk about criticism, my personal experience as well, being very thoughtful about everybody's feelings, I'm my worst critic.
Me too.
Can you say hallelujah?
Mm.
Amen, sister.
Amen.
Who criticizes
is-
me? Me. I'm the one that looks at me and says, oh my God, and you're getting so old, and oh, did you sound so okay tonight? And how was the show? And did you look? And no.
Yeah.
It's
It is true. Let's take my chartered accountants friends again. I will talk to them afterwards because they know me very well. But let's take them again. They do the numbers. They do what they do because they love it. They chose that job. Nobody says to them, I don't like, or even if somebody does, even if somebody says to them, I don't like the way that you did my books. He's like, whatever, man. This is what I'm doing.
And he
my
doesn't
job.
go home and say, oh, did I do those books well? Or didn't I do the books well?
You know?
Wearing a nice tie.
That's the worst.
It's true. And I think you just said what you would say to somebody who wants to enter this life. I mean, that is the best advice that one can give them. It is not the easiest advice, and it's also not the easiest advice to follow, because I think you need to grow a hell of a lot to get to a point where you say, I am doing what I love best, regardless of if two people walk past and one stays. And on that, I want to tell the story of when Cindy was playing in Montecasino once. So as you mentioned that I saw her at Strab the first time, but I didn't. She was playing in Montecasino, and I booked, in that week, I booked a show to watch Alter Irving at another gig on a Sunday. So on Saturday evening, I just went to Montecasino for something else. I worked there, and I walked past and I saw Cindy playing, and I just showed, I said, I'll see you tomorrow, like something like that. And she just saw my lips moving, and that was it. And the next day I went to the gig, and in Cindy's show, she said, hey, you said, oh, that's what you said. You said you're going to see me the next day, last night. And just that small, the fact that you, it doesn't matter who is standing in front of you, you recognized it, and on stage, you didn't care who was thinking about whatever you're interrupting your own show or whatever. That is what is authentic. And whoever, from what I've learned from all my people that are with us in the arts, is that's the thing that touches people. It is when you recognize. So yes, you can be the best artist in the world. You can be, or the best singer, or the best whatever. But if you don't recognize people and you don't talk to people and talk to them rather than at them.
Eye contact.
That's exactly.
When you're so in your, I've seen so many artists, they just are in their own little world. They're having such a great time on their own, but they're not reaching you. I saw this concert on TV, Rihanna doing some kind of show.
Wait.
I wanted to slap her so hard across upside the head. I wanted to hit her. I was like, what? You've made so much money, girl, and you are cheating these people. You're cheating these people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a little sing here and then, and the backing band is singing, and then she's shaking her ass, and then she's moving. It's nothing. There's no connection to the people. Nothing. I was like, huh?
It's also so much pressure, because in the end, it's not only if you allow it. So coming back to giving advice, I think if you're not strong enough, again, interrupt me at any point. If you're not strong enough to know what it is that you want to do with your art. And this is what I've seen in each of you. So Pakiso and Abby and Sneh, I have recently come to know Andrew. I know a little bit longer, and Cindy I know in between. But what I've seen is, if you're not, that you girls are strong, and if you're not strong enough to know this is what I want to do, this is my style, this is what I'm going to keep to, so many people are going to have an influence in your life. So many people are going to come to you and say, you've got so much potential. Let's turn this into this, or let's turn this into a moneymaker, or let's turn this into that. And I think that is where what the very, very difficult path is as an artist. Please feel free to tell me if you agree or not. It's to say to people, hey, back off. I know what I'm doing. And even if you like it or don't like it, this is my passion and this is what I'm going to stick to. I know, Andra, this little bit of a thing I've actually learned from you. So I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Oh, so for me, I don't like to give advice because I think every person's journey is so personal and specific and sacred. So I dare not be very presumptuous of me to be like, oh, you must just work hard. And, you know what? Sometimes things don't work out. But if you have that thing solidified in your bones that this is what you are here to do, nothing will stop you and no one can really advise you, because as you step, the right things for you will show up, and then the next step and then the next step. So yeah, I don't know, it's a tricky thing, the advice thing for me. I've been given a lot of advice as well, and I was like, no, I don't think so.
See, but that's my point. That's what this is what I'm saying. Is people
you see, there's a difference. There's also a difference, unfortunately, between, the arts or music or whatever business and the actual art. So sometimes it coincides and sometimes not at all. So I'm an artist, and sometimes there's a little bit of business and sometimes not. It doesn't change what I play.
Yes.
I agree with you, Andra, because I also hate giving advice, because you find that other people, when they say they're giving you advice, they're actually criticizing you. And then you end up doubting yourself that you're not the best, or you are not capable of doing what they are capable of doing. So sometimes they just kill your spirit. So that's why I also kind of back off and saying, not my space.
Yeah.
Because other people, when they feel intimidated maybe by your work or whatever, they would say things that will get you down. And now you also, with that thing, would start playing in your head, and then you're not going to perform at the best of your ability, because now you're thinking, I'm worthless, I'm not my best, so and so is better than me and stuff. So advisors, nah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because a lot of people have very good managers, and their managers take care of their business. Because for me, it's called the music business. It's the music business. It's always been called the music business. So I don't know about the other areas, not the acting business or the artist business, but the word business does come into it. And I always tell younger people, know something about the business, because knowledge is your first weapon. So if you know a little bit, you can at least navigate those shark-filled waters. Because my first manager, I mean, we've sold 17 million albums and we made no money. He stole all our money. And I was like, what happened here? Ooh. And I'm just saying, I didn't know anything. I was naive. But I think every one of you, as much as we are artists and we love what we do and we feel it, and it's all from the core and from our love of it, we're all still a little bit business savvy. Don't put yourselves down and say, we don't know anything about it. Rubbish. You're all business savvy. You know what you're doing. You've got it in you. And that's why you can stand up for yourselves, because you're strong women. This is very much a male-dominated industry, especially the music business and the arts business and everything. It's like, hey man, the men, take charge in this. But I think we mustn't put ourselves down, and we must actually say, you know what, I've got this. I know a bit about this. I know a bit about that. Maybe not all of everything, but I've got enough sus to get through this on my own. So thank you very much, but go and sit down now.
Exactly. I'm going to have us do wrap up comment from all of us. And I think, Cindy, maybe if you can, you said you have your guitar just right there. Like you are the one that said it. Like, you know?
I do.
Cindy, I knew we're going to win this one.
So I think as we do little wrap-up things, you get your guitar ready and you just do. So my personal request would be Save Me, but you can decide which song you want to do.
We'll do Substitute. I think everybody knows that one.
Yeah, everybody.
Just a little, just a chorus maybe, because we all want to say our goodbyes. And I'm sorry if I was very like pushy in any way, because
I love it.
So
You should
excited.
be.
And I love talking about this and to all these different people and meeting these new artists and meeting people. I love it.
Yes.
This is fantastic. And while you were talking, there were a lot of things. So we're going to start with Pakiso, Sneh, Abby, Andra, and then we end up with Cindy. We have touched on a lot of things today. So we are celebrating us as women, being in the arts, going through what we're going through, being happy about it. But I would like to have follow-up webinars or chats or meetings on the things that we have talked about today, on the music business or the artist business, or just talking freely about what it is that the steps forward as well, bringing it back to COVID. What are we going to do about this? So if you guys are available, and anybody watching, if there are questions that you want to ask or that you want discussed or that you don't know and you want to learn from any of the ladies on the webinar today, just send an email and Ilanza will type it in the chat box. And maybe also on Facebook, you can send an email to info@houseofcrew.org or at info@samusiciansupport.coza. And then we will connect you with anyone, with Pakiso, Sneh, Abby, Andra, and Cindy, whether it be about makeup, music, dance, or being an all-rounder, which Abby is. To finish. All right, Pakiso.
I would say, I don't know, going forward, we as women, let's fix each other's crowns. Let's not, now that maybe Cindy's doing better than me, and think now that everybody is under her. And if you can see that I'm struggling, help me. Let's help one another, because I find that we as women, we are the worst critics on each other. And we want to be seen to be, I don't know, superior or better than everybody else. But in my industry where I am, as if you're not the it makeup artist, then nobody knows you. So yeah, that's my 2 cents of web.
I think for me, going forward, it's just we need to connect, like just what Pakiso said, like connect as women mostly, because also we need to be aware that each of us have different gifts, and we can learn from each other, I mean, Pakiso does makeup. When I perform, I need makeup on my face. Cindy does music. I can be performing for her. Things like that. I need fitness from Abby. Andra performing with her, doing, because she sounds like a very deep and soulful type of female. So create something along those lines. Like, I feel like there's so much we can learn, from each other, and learning from each other leads us to building with each other and for each other as well. So yes, that's me going forward. It's just, we need to learn how to connect and be able to be aware of each other's gifts and be able to accept that someone else is different more than anything. Yeah.
Sure.
From my side, whoever is listening, male or female, first of all, stop. Just stop and breathe. Look at yourself, face yourself, stop and breathe. That's all you need to do. It's literally that simple. Breathe. Then, once you're done with that, listen, it will come. Don't force it. Life is hard. We are all in the pits. Life is hard, but we are all here for each other. Understand that. To all the artists who are here, stop. You are not the only one. There are a lot of us. But the issue is we are zero if we are not here together. Stop. You are not the only one. To all the women who are here, first and foremost, happy Women's Day, because I wasn't there to say that to you. Happy Women's Month. And I say this every single day. You are bold. You are beautiful. You are strong. You are woman. Do not ever let another woman put you down. I'm not even speaking about men because we have a lot. In our industry, in the world, it's dominated, which is also very interesting because there's more of us. So women, let's get our guns blazing because we run this world. We are beautiful. We are strong. Let us love each other. I repeat with Pikes, please. Let's shine each other's crowns. Women, you know who you are. You know that they can't do it without us. Stop. Breathe. Believe in yourself. This is Abby Miles. I talk too much.
Abby. Andra.
Oh, yes, Abby, that was so cool. I think I would just say, I'm always so tricky between, you know, the women thing and the men and it's just us. It's just us, and let us allow each other to take up space, you know, show up and applaud other people who take up space and not be like, oh, what is she thinking? It's cool, you know? So yeah, and love, man.
Yeah.
Just, it's so easy. That's it.
Many a true word. Love, it is so easy. Yeah, that is true. Just before Cindy serenade us or do her last thing, I just want to know if Ilanza, who has been organizing everything in the back, thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. And you will have to say something just because you're here.
I just want to salute every single one of you. You are inspirational. You are super cool. Lizani, you are the perfect host. So I have to give you. You just bring everything together. You are a beautiful woman, and that's why you attract all these beautiful panelists. Cindy, I flippin' love you. Snai, you are going to dance the whole world. Andra, I want to have a drink with you.
Me too!
Abby, I'm going to join your sessions. You are one flippin' sparkly woman, and the energy is tangible. Pakisa, I don't know jack about makeup. I'll have to come for lessons. It's so amazing to draw from your energy. And I think that links to everything. If we can just allow one another to be and support one another, and even if it's not financially, but by loving the way only women can love, and being unselfish and being unconditional, and by building one another up, I think we are capable of making the world a better place. Thank you.
Awesome. That's great.
Absolutely.
Okay, Cindy.
You know, everything that everybody said today, it just all touched me because we learn all the time. I do. I never know everything. I'm still on my journey, you know, and Lizani, thank you so much for this platform. Really appreciate it. All of you, your lovely words and just sharing your souls, and also agreed there's not a man thing, a woman thing, or anything thing. It's about owning our place in the world, whoever you are. And if I had anything to say to anybody who's starting out or trying to do this business or anything, make sure it's your passion that is driving you and not your starry eyes and thinking that this is going to be a fabulous divine journey. You're going to make millions. You're going to be a star on stage and everybody's going to love you. It might not happen. Make sure you still have the passion for it and you're doing because you love it. Whatever you do it because you love it.
Awesome.
That's it.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, we're waiting for a song.
Cindy, I'm here for this.
Same dedication. I give her everything in creation. If she doesn't come back, everybody must sing. I'll be your substitute. Whenever you want. Don't you know I'll be your substitute? Whenever you need me. Woo-hoo. And during COVID, I was singing, I won't be your substitute.
Yes.
You need
Whenever you need me,
no,
Exactly.
she won't be your substitute.
during lockdown. Woo-hoo. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just
All
for
right, guys. We're looking forward to the next webinars. We'll bring in the conversations that really needs discussing and taking the way forward. Let us know if you want anything done or connect with anyone here. We're waiting for your call. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.